Hey there, it's Caitlin here for Premier Guitar. In this video, I'm going to outline the 5 capo locations for any key. If you're an acoustic guitar player who's always trying to figure out where to place the capo, this video is for you. Let's take the guesswork out of trying to find the capo locations for any key, and let's use a formula that will work every time. In this video, I'm going to break down the following 3 concepts: key shapes, the cage blueprint, and the 5 capo locations. There are always going to be 5 capo locations for any key, and these 5 capo locations are directly related to the 5 cage system shapes. Before we jump into finding the 5 capo locations for any key, we first need to establish what a key shape is. Key shape is a term that I came up with to help guitar players understand chord shapes in relation to the capo. The key shape is the cage system shape of the 1 chord. The key shape can also be thought of as the key we're pretending to play in. For example, if I'm playing a song or chord progression in the key of B, and I place my capo on the 4th fret and play a 1, 4, 5, 6 chord progression, it will look like I'm playing a G, C, D, and E minor chord. Now obviously I'm not playing the actual chords of G, C, D, E minor, because I've moved each of these original chords up by 4 frets or 4 half steps. I'm really playing a 1, 4, 5, 6 chord progression in the key of B, which would be the chords B, E, F sharp, and G sharp minor. However, it looks like I'm playing in the key of G because of the shapes. The 1 chord of B looks like the G chord because it is a G shape chord. So for this example, I'm playing in the key of B, but I'm playing in the key shape of G. The 1 chord is the G shape, and it looks like I'm playing in the key of G. So I'm obviously playing in the key of B, but I can think about this chord progression as if I'm in the key of G. But instead of saying these are the chords G, C, D, E minor, I will refer to them as shapes: the G shape, C shape, D shape, and E minor shape. You can think about the key shape regarding the Nashville number system. If I'm in the key of G, the 1 chord is G, the 4 chord is C, the 5 chord is D, and the 6 chord is E minor. So I can think about this as the 1 chord is the G shape, the 4 chord is the C shape, the 5 chord is the D shape, and the 6 chord is the E minor shape. It's so important as a guitarist to understand the real actual key that you're playing as well as the key shape. Now that we have a solid understanding of what a key shape is, let's apply this to the entire fretboard using the caged blueprint. The cage blueprint is a way to outline the 5 cage system shapes of any key across the fretboard of the guitar. This blueprint is used to break the fretboard down into 5 boxes, which are directly related to the 5 cage system shapes. Let's first learn how to find the cage blueprint for any key. This is actually very simple. All you need to do is find the 5 cage system shapes of the 1 chord of whatever key you're in. For example, if I want to find the cage blueprint for the key of C, I just need to find the 5 cage system shapes of the 1 chord of the key of C, which would be the C chord. I'm going to start with the C chord in the C shape, then connect it to the A shape, G shape, E shape, and D shape. Let's start with the C chord in the C shape. Now to connect the C shape to the A shape, go to the furthest fret of this shape, and that's where the index finger bar will be placed for the next shape, which is the A shape. Here's C in the A shape. To connect the A shape to the G shape, the same rule applies. Go to the furthest fret, which is the 5th fret. Place the index finger bar down for the next shape, which is the G shape. Here's C in the G shape. Now to connect the G shape to the E shape, the same rule applies. Go to the furthest fret, which is the 8th fret. Place the index finger bar down for the next shape, which is the E shape. Here's C in the E shape. To connect the E shape to the D shape, the same rule applies. Go to the furthest fret, which would be the 10th fret. Place the index finger bar down for the next shape, which is the D shape. Here's the C chord in the D shape. So if you wanted to connect this D shape into the next C shape, the rule will change by 1 fret. Instead of going to the furthest fret, which would be the 13th fret, we go back by 1 fret. We go to the 2nd to last fret, which in this case would be the 12th fret. That's where the index finger bar would go down for C in the C shape, now an octave higher. The key of C is the best key to start with when learning this cage blueprint, because the 5 cage shapes of the C chord fit so well across the fretboard of the guitar in the order of C, A, G, E, and D. When doing this for other keys, you may find the C shape starts so far up on the fretboard and you may run out of room, especially on an acoustic guitar. When doing this cage blueprint for any key, when you come to a shape where the index finger bar is either on or past the 12th fret, you can take that shape down the octave. This means when you have a shape where the index finger bar is either on or past the 12th fret, whatever fret the bar is on, subtract that fret number by 12, then take that same shape down the octave to whatever fret that would be. For example, I'm going to find the cage blueprint for the key of F, which means I need to find the 5 cage system shapes of the F chord. I'm going to start with the F chord in the C shape. Now I'm going to go to the furthest fret, which is the 8th fret, place the index finger bar down for F in the A shape. I go to the furthest fret, which is the 10th fret, place the index finger bar down for F in the G shape. Now I go to the furthest fret, which is the 13th fret, place the index finger bar down for F in the E shape, but now this is the first shape so far for the key of F where the index finger bar is either on or past the 12th fret. So I'm going to take this same shape, this E shape, down the octave. My index finger bar is on the 13th fret, so I'm going to subtract 12 from 13. 13 minus 12 is 1. Take this same shape, this E shape, down so that the index finger bar is on fret 1. I have F in the E shape. Now I'm going to continue on, furthest fret, index finger bar down for F in the D shape. Now, if I wanted to continue through, I could go to the second to last fret to connect to F in the C shape again. We have now formed the cage blueprint for the key of F. Now that we have learned how to form this cage blueprint, we can use this cage blueprint to find the 5 capo locations for any key. Forming this cage blueprint and finding the 5 cage system shapes of any key will show you the 5 capo locations for that key. For these 5 cage system shapes that I formed using my cage blueprint, wherever the index finger bar is placed for these 5 shapes is a capo location. Because we have 5 cage system shapes for any key, we have 5 capo locations for any key. Now for each of these 5 capo locations, we've established where the index finger bar is, that's where the capo is placed. Now the cage system shape that index finger bar belongs to is now your key shape. For example, let's take the key of C. Here is my cage blueprint for the key of C. C in the C shape, C in the A shape, C in the G shape, C in the E shape, and C in the D shape. Now for some keys, we will have an open position of a key shape, just like C in the C shape. That's going to count as one of our positions or one of our capo locations. So if I'm playing in the key of C, I could play in these 5 different positions. Here's C in the C shape, so I could play with no capo and play in the key shape of C, using the C shape as my 1 chord. Here's C in the A shape, so I could play with the capo on the 3rd fret and play in the key shape of A, where the A shape is my 1 chord. Here's C in the G shape, so I could play with the capo on the 5th fret and play in the key shape of G, where the G shape is my 1 chord. Here's C in the E shape, so I could play with capo on the 8th fret, where the E shape would be my 1 chord. Here's C in the D shape, so I could play with capo on the 10th fret and play in the key shape of D, where the D shape would be my 1 chord. To understand this even more, I'm going to now play a 1, 4, 5, 6 chord progression in the key of C using these 5 different capo locations. Now the actual chords that I will be playing will be C for the 1 chord, F for the 4 chord, G for the 5 chord, and A minor for the minor 6 chord. My first position or capo location for the key of C was the C shape. So obviously in the key of C for the C shape, I do not need a capo. So I can play no capo and I'm in the key shape of C. My 1, 4, 5, 6 chord again are C, F, G, A minor. But since I'm in the key of C and the key shape of C, the shapes in the actual chords will match. So I have a 1 chord of C, a 4 chord of F, a 5 chord of G, and a 6 chord of A minor. Now the next capo location was the A shape, which is capo 3. I have capo 3, key shape of A. The 1, 4, 5, 6 chord is still going to be C, F, G, and A minor. But in the key shape of A, it will look like A as the 1, D as the 4, E as the 5, and F sharp minor as the minor 6. I like to play my F sharp minor chord like this. So I have 1 A, 4 D, 5 E, 6 F sharp minor. The next capo location is the G shape, which has the capo located on the 5th fret. So I could have capo on the 5th fret, playing in the key shape of G. Again, the 1, 4, 5, 6 chord progression is still C, F, G, A minor. But in this key shape, they will look like G for the 1, C for the 4, D for the 5, and E minor for the 6. So I have 1, 4, 5, 6. The next capo location is the key shape of E, which has the capo on the 8th fret. So I could play capo on the 8th fret in the key shape of E. 1, 4, 5, 6 chord progression is still the chords of C, F, G, and A minor, but in this key shape, they will look like E for the 1, A for the 4, B for the 5, and C sharp minor for the minor 6. So I have E is the 1, A is the 4, B is the 5, C sharp minor is the minor 6. The fifth and final capo location is the key shape of D, which has the capo on the 10th fret, so I could play this chord progression with capo on the 10th fret in the key shape of D. The 1, 4, 5, 6 chord progression is still C, F, G, and A minor, but in this key shape, it will look like D for the 1, G for the 4, A for the 5, and B minor for the minor 6. I like playing the B minor like this, kind of a B minor 7 with the 11th. So I have D for 1, G for 4, A for 5, and B minor for the 6. Hopefully this video has removed the guesswork of trying to figure out where the capo should be placed for a certain song in a certain key, and has now given you a formula that will work every time for any song in any key.